Hello, do you want to play KAMISATO Ayaka? Well, here's a guide on what she can do for best builds, teams, and rotations. This is the KAMISATO Ayaka guide for those who plan to roll for her in her first rerun. A quick rundown on her abilities and what she can do. KAMISATO Ayaka is a cryo unit who aims to deal damage with her burst, sneaking in charge attacks, normal attacks, and her skill in between. Her normal attacks and charge attacks, KAMISATO Art Kabuki, are quick and can easily hit enemies. Her elemental skill, KAMISATO Art Hyoka, is an AoE cryo damaging ability that deals damage in an area around her. Her elemental burst, KAMISATO Art Sumetsu, is a cryo ability that spawns where she casts it, dealing damage in the path in front of her. An alternate sprint is different from other characters. When pressing shift, her dash is pretty different from other characters compared to someone like Venti, where when you press shift, it's just dash, where with KAMISATO Ayaka you go on the ground and does things. One thing that she does when she does dash is infuse her weapon with cryo. Normally when you just stand still, her normal attacks are to deal physical damage, whereas if you dash and then do your normal attacks or your charge attacks, they get infused with cryo after your dash. This is very different to other characters who, when dashing, they just don't do anything compared to Ayaka, where dashing she can deal cryo damage now. Another thing unique to her is her Ascension Passives relating to the dash. When the cryo application at the end of KAMISATO Art Senho, which is her dash, hits an opponent, KAMISATO Ayaka gains the following effects. She restores 10 stamina, and she gains a cryo damage bonus for 10 seconds. Her other passive, her A1 passive, whenever she uses her elemental skill, KAMISATO Art Hyoka, she gains a normal and charge attack damage bonus. While she has her cons, energy hungry after her burst, all her bursts won't hit efficiently or effectively. She is stamina hungry, I guess, compared to other characters, and she has pretty long cooldowns. She can be a very powerful unit when she is built properly, and that's going to be the next part. We will start with her artifact. Blizzard Strayer is her best set and is a must-need for her teams, which will be discussed later. Our aim for her artifacts are an attack percent timepiece, cryo damage goblet, and a crit damage circlet. Now there are some occasions where you actually go attack percent, and that is depending on the artifacts that you have and also your weapon, mainly being Misfit or Forge, her best in slot, which also will be discussed later. The best way to be able to figure out your maximum potential with your current Ayaka is through the Genshin optimizer, which I will link down below. With the weapon now being discussed and Misflitter being her best in slot, an attack percent circlet is possible. There will be a link down below on a very suggested video on why you go attack percent circlet with Ayaka. It also explains why you also go that depending on the weapon you have, mainly being Misflitter. But if you don't have that, then we just stick with the suggested. For Ayaka substats, we aim for damage, attack percent, energy recharge, and crit rate. With the artifacts and the weapons being closely related, her best in slot for free-to-play players like me are the Aminoma Kageuchi, which is the Inazuma craftable you get for free. It also helps with their energy problems that we discussed a while ago in their cons, and R5 basically fixes her energy problems. As for better options than Aminoma Kageuchi, any 5-star weapon should be better, but it is artifact dependent because RNG. If your weapon, your 5-star weapon, has a crit rate main stat and you're overcapping with crit rate because of Blizzard Strayer plus the Cryo Resonance, because you get 15% off it, you try to target a 2-piece Blizzard set with another 2-piece like Noblesse or Gladiator, or if you have spares, Emblem is also another choice. If you don't have any sword prototypes, the only weapon I can think of is the Harbinger of Dawn. It's the only thing I can think of that if you don't have any sword prototype. But then, as soon as you get one and then you own Ayaka and you don't have a 5-star weapon, then you'd aim for Aminoma. For her talents, her burst is our first priority, followed by her normal attacks, and then lastly is your elemental skill. Now on to teams. As mentioned before already, how Ayaka works is you burst, you do your charge attacks or your elemental skill, and then you go out. Because she works like an off-field DPS, we just have a 15-second window to get her burst back, or well, 18 seconds sort of. So her teams and rotations work as follows. An Animo unit, usually to group activate Viridescent because Viridescent is broken. A Cryo battery to give energy particles to Ayaka, and a Hydro applicator to be able to freeze. Freeze is her best team. You can do melt or physical, but completely meme, and I won't talk about it here. Maybe there'll be a video about it of her meme teams. Who knows? Anyway, the basic idea is you apply Cryo with usually your Cryo battery, and then you swirl with your Animo unit to be able to activate Viridescent for the elemental decrease. If you have characters that can group them, that also works. Is highly suggested if you have that character. And then you switch to your Hydro character. We apply Hydro with either your burst or burst and skill, whichever one. And then you go back to Ayaka. We burst, do your charge attacks, we do her E, something like that. Now to explain how Ayaka works in that scenario, if you have Aminoma, what you do before you burst is you dash, you press your E first, and then you ult, or you do your burst. It is to activate the Aminoma passive. It also helps with your energy, and then after the burst is where you do your charge attacks, your normal attacks. If you have Mist-Splitter, which I think is the only one that has a different combo, you do your dash, you do your auto attack, your just one to activate the Mist-Splitter Reforged passive, you do your E, and then you do your burst. What this does is it activates all 3 stacks before you get your ult. What you can also do is, I'm pretty sure you can just do your first normal attack, you just burst and then Q right after. Since you're doing your charge attacks anyway, to be able to activate your 3 stacks. Either way, it's just a way to activate 3 stacks for Mist-Splitter, but if you don't have that, you can just stick to the Aminoma combo, which is pretty common for the rest of the weapons also. Now that we know how she works, the teams, how the team fully on works, the next step is to find out which characters are the best for her. Then a very possible team is the Animo Traveler as your Animo unit, Viridescent, Kaya to be your Cryo battery, and Barbara to hold TTTS. And all you're really looking forward to is to upgrade those characters. You can get Sucrose as an upgrade for Animo Traveler. If you have the 5-star options, then you have Venti and Kazuha as the main groupers. You can also use Viridescent. If you don't, then Jean is also not a bad option, I guess. Berzaria, if you have her built over Kaya as the Cryo battery, since they're basically almost the same. 5-star options, or the premium options, are Shenhe, Ganyu, and the Shielder option. The safe option is Diona also as the Cryo battery. For the Hydro applicators, Mona, Kokumi, or Ayato are the 3 best options, as they can hold Mona and Kokumi can hold TTTS. All of them also apply a lot of Hydro. It also fits in Ayaka's 5-second window with her burst. 4 stars is not really much. If you don't use Xingqiu in your other teams, then Xingqiu is a great option for Ayaka. Ayaka does very well in a scenario where you can just nuke them, but it is also heavy and not a boss. Yes, Ayaka can do very well in some medium bosses like Magu Kenki or the Hydro Hypostasis, but generally she is very bad against bosses because, well, you can't freeze them and they're pretty mobile, so they can just get out of the burst anytime. But in a free situation where the combat domain and then your goal is to nuke them, Ayaka does pretty well. That is pretty much for her. If I missed anything, just let me know. You can ask questions in the comment section below. Feel free to ask, in the comment section if you have any questions. I get them sometimes, even in a very small channel. I do look forward to them, and in case anyone does ask for something pretty just general knowledge. Other than that, make sure to comment and subscribe, and then hopefully I can do these types of videos again soon, which I think I do have sometimes. But anyways, See you guys in the next one.